Hello, this is Nabila Rahman. I'm the Digital Transformation Strategist in United News of Bangladesh, UNB, and have been holding leadership roles in the tech industry for many years. Today, I'm very excited to launch our 8th webinar of the Tech Collective, and the topic for today is Women in Technology, Journey of an Instagram Influencer. When it comes to food influencers, Instagram has a ton to offer. You can find food pictures, delicious recipes, how-to videos, food blogging, and restaurant reviewers. Professional chefs share their own recipes and creative processes. Simple foodies upload their everyday recipes and favorite restaurant brands. It's the perfect social media platform to go to when looking for anything food related. If you like our webinar, please like, share, and comment. Thank you. So like always, I'm very excited. Now everybody knows who Sam is, Sam Bretzfield, who is a tech entrepreneur living in Bangladesh for many years and will be co-hosting with me in this webinar again. Sam, very excited to have you again. Please introduce yourself. I would say everybody should know you by now, but please go ahead and introduce yourself and our very special guest for today. Thank you.
Absolutely, Nabila. Thank you so much. Our 8th webinar. My name is Sam Bretzfield for the audience. Really happy to be back. Please like, comment, and share these videos. I hope that the audience is getting something out of this. Today, I'm really excited to be joined with Lindsay Stewart. She's our special guest. She is a foodie influencer in Las Vegas, Nevada. She has close to 475,000, 500,000 followers, so a very massive following. We're really excited to have her today to share her knowledge and all the wonderful things that she's been able to do through food. Lindsay, welcome. Thanks so much for joining us.
Hi, thank you both so much for having me. I should correct you though. I do have 380,000 on Instagram.
I overstated.
Okay, I do have 638,000 on TikTok. So we're right in the middle somewhere.
Wow. So tell us, how does one build a TikTok following of almost 600,000 and an Instagram following of almost 400,000? I mean, how do you do that?
It definitely, for me, it didn't happen overnight. I've been doing this for a really long time. I started when Instagram almost started, but we started basically when my husband and I moved to Las Vegas. So this was 2013, and we decided to check out a bunch of restaurants here in Vegas, and I wanted to document it. So the best way to do that was through an Instagram. So I've been doing it for a while, but just recently I feel like it's a more user-friendly where Instagram is allowing you to grow even more so now than they ever have before, which is nice.
So when did you get started? You said it's been a while. When did you start? Which platform did you start first?
Instagram was first for 2013.
And then TikTok?
And TikTok happened 2020 for me.
Well, TikTok has been huge growth. If you have like over 600K followers in less than 2 years? That's amazing.
Yeah, thank you. TikTok was great because it's, whenever there's a new platform that's taking off, it's really great to get in on it early. And, with 2020, with the unfortunate lockdown, I think a lot of people were spending, an enormous amount of time on their phone. So TikTok was just it all kind of worked really well together for TikTok and people who started a channel there.
Wow, amazing. Can I share your Instagram page?
Of course.
Yeah, so we can actually go ahead and see. I mean, it looks like you can see the Las Vegas foodie, and that's you, 380K followers, and you have such amazing video. I mean, I was looking at your photos and I was like, I want to eat that. It's like salivating, like so delicious.
Thank you.
It's visually very appealing. I mean, I have the sound off so that our audience can just check it out. It's amazing.
You're very quick. They're quick videos. They're kind of quick edits is what I've sort of been doing lately. So
Do you do the videos yourself or do you have a team? How does it work?
I do it all myself. Yep, I always have. I just edit it from my phone. I use an app called InShot. It's free. And this is one of my favorite videos because I specifically made this video because it's a perfect loop. So if you keep watching at the very end, it goes right into that bite, which this was the first video that I had wanted to do something like that. And so I just quickly put it together. So let's see. And then it's back at the beginning. It's almost seamless. Like you can't even tell that it started over.
Yeah.
Now, do some videos do better than others? And like, how do you like figure out what content like does better than other content, I should say?
Well, sometimes you never know what video is going to do well. You never know what is going to be, what Instagram and what my viewership is going to like. But for the most part, my fans really like the cheesy kind of indulgent foods. Lately, it's been like food challenges, which has been insane. But that mochi one actually had gotten a lot of views. But and also my audience likes dessert. And I think it's because I like dessert. So it's really, I enjoy shooting that kind of content. I enjoy eating that content, so it seems to like do well because I like it.
Mm-hmm. And I suppose your audience kind of feeds off of that, no pun intended. It's interesting. Where do you kind of see the state of social influencing heading? I mean, there seems to be, a tremendous amount of competition out there for eyeballs and for time. How do you get people to keep coming back to your page, right? And where do you kind of see things headed? Is there a place where this all goes that's in 5 years from now?
Yeah, that's such a great question because 5 years ago, I wouldn't be able to tell you that where I am today. I think that the state of social is changing so rapidly. And there's so many new people on the scene that they keep bringing new ideas and it's revolving. It's changing almost daily. So it feels like there's new trends that are picking up, every couple months. So I have no idea where it's going to be in 5 years, but I do have to say that anyone who's interested in doing this, it is not too late. This is the very beginning. I always say, look how long, radio and television have been around, right? The social media, YouTube started in 2009, Instagram in 2012. This has been, and it was just so tiny and it's barely begun. We're just still in its infancy. So yeah, who knows? It's exciting, can be scary too, but
what's scary? What are you? I think of when I post, right? And I think, well, gosh, what are my friends going to think? Maybe I'm a little embarrassed or, maybe having some confidence. Do you feel that way too sometimes or just kind of go out, put it all out there?
I still feel that way. So some things never change. Yeah. The reason why I started my Instagram, I had a personal Instagram, but I started the foodie Instagram because I didn't want to bore my friends or bug them with all my food posts from Las Vegas. So I started a separate page thinking that I didn't want them to know about it. I just wanted to be anonymous on it, So yeah, that and it is scary putting your face on there, I think. I mean, it is for me. Some people are very natural at it. So
well, I would think you would be natural. You've been doing it for a while, and obviously you're natural because you've gained so many fan followers. It's amazing. So you are a natural. So my question is, do you create content? Like, do you upload every day in both these channels, TikTok and Insta?
Typically I do. Lately it's been a bit of a challenge. I just had a baby. He just turned 3 months.
Oh, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I also have a 2-year-old. She just turned 2 last week, actually.
Wow.
5 days ago. So life has been, I'm trying to take a deep breath because it has been a lot. But without the adjustment to mom life and taking care of the toddler, it's every single day. But this last week's been a bit of a challenge because we had our birthday. So yeah, it wasn't every day, but I recommend posting every day. if you can.
Yeah. And what is your, how's your strategy? What's your strategy between TikTok and Insta? How is it different? I'm sure you follow different strategies, right? What's your strategy?
Yeah, definitely a little bit.
Mhm.
And this actually happened just recently. For a while, I was posting the same exact content, and you'll see some of the videos kind of carry over. They will be the same. A lot of them are voiceovers where I'm recording 45 seconds maybe and talking about the restaurant or the dish or any kind of information. I usually share both of those on both pages. But what I'm doing differently on Instagram right now is Instagram seems to be favoring these 5 to 10-second videos with these sound clips. So I've been just making these really short videos and putting it together with that sound clip and uploading it to Instagram. I do that a little bit on TikTok, but more so with Instagram. They're really pushing that Reels aspect because they're in big competition with TikTok. I think once TikTok came out, it really pulled a lot of their audience away. So now they're sort of fighting back,
Interesting.
But
Is there a place where you have to learn about how the algorithm works? Like, how do you learn that? How do you find out that, oh, I better put more emphasis on these more short format videos? Is it kind of common knowledge, or there are forums that you go to, or is it just kind of like pervasive within the social influencer community? How do you learn about these things?
To be completely honest, like I wish I had a place or a hub that I could learn about this, because I'm constantly thinking about what's next and what's doing well. But no, so what happened was we moved in July. I had a baby in July. So there was a lot going on, but I got COVID too. So I was kind of just on bed rest. I couldn't really do much. So I just was on my phone thinking, I have this time, let's just go for it. So I just started doing it, and I realized that that's what Instagram had liked. So I kept doing that, and I tried to keep up as long as I could. So that's like the long and short of it. There was no like special remedy. There was no forum, but it's really important to talk to your peers and talk to other people. I get really excited when there's people in my space, and we can kind of all, gather of the minds. That's not the term I'm looking for, but meeting of the minds,
Yes.
and kind of talk about what we think the trends are. But yeah.
Yeah. And the algorithm keeps changing, right? You can't, because you don't know, and it's not common knowledge initially. I mean, I guess the most important thing is to keep experimenting and figure things out and see what kind of content, or is it the content? Is it the reels? Is it the music? Is it like the format? I mean, is it the voice? There's so many elements to it. And now you're saying the trend is the challenge, right? And it keeps changing. So it's just like a never ending game. And I think, you guys are you're creating the trend, basically, the social media influencers.
Well,
Right?
thank you. Yeah, I think so. I would also like to create a trend of not overworking yourself either, taking a break from the phone. Mental health is so important, not comparing yourself to everybody. I did for me, it was really tough. I wasn't able to go out and go to the restaurants I wanted to go to at that time. So I made a big point to just focus on what I could do at the time I could do it. And it really helped because, the competition is high, but it doesn't mean that you have to, really kick your butt to get there. You can get there at your own pace.
You said a very important thing, like you couldn't go to the restaurant during COVID time from 2020 to, I would say, even till 2021, end of 2021, right? How did you create these food blogs and these content, especially when things were shut down, especially in the beginning in mid 2020? Like, what did you do? How did you go to restaurants? How did you create content? Did you go at all?
Yeah, well, and I was pregnant all through 2020 also, but we mostly did takeout. So I did a lot of takeout videos and we brought it home. I did a lot of at-home cooking. I think that's when a lot of people really found their niche as well, those at-home creators. And they became, those TikTok stars that we see today, and just with their personality and who they are, and people, fell in love with them then. Not saying that happened to me, but for me, I was doing a lot of takeout. That was the best way I could support the restaurant as best I could, as well as get content. So.
Awesome.
Fascinating. So somebody that wants to get started as a foodie influencer, or as an influencer in general, like what would be one mistake people make when they're trying to kind of grow their page and, figure out how to get followers? Like, what advice would you give to, a young woman here in Bangladesh starting out?
So first thing, I don't think there's any mistakes at all. Unless you're being, I wouldn't be mean or come off as an angry kind of a channel. People want to feel good, right? So the advice I would really give is just start. It is the hardest part to sit around and think about what you're going to do, right? You could be thinking for weeks and months, and honestly, you just need to do something. Try it. Nobody's going to be great on the first day, right? You need practice, and the only way to practice is to actually do it. Mm-hmm. So make that video, even if it's a 5-second video. Get comfortable with the editing. Get comfortable with recording, and post it. Don't worry about how it's going to look. Don't think about what people are going to think about it. Just do it. That's the number one thing. The second thing is, if you're going to choose a name, a handle, personally, I guess if there's any mistake, I personally wish I didn't choose something so niche. I chose my city of Las Vegas and foodie. So that is almost limiting me to just Las Vegas and just foodie, right? So hindsight, I think I would have chosen something more evergreen, my name maybe. And so I could do more than just those things. On the other hand, we live and do things in the box that we put ourselves in. So I don't think I have those kinds of boundaries. I still show my family. I still show other things than food and Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. So, and it's been fine. But, changing my name now is definitely more difficult than if I had done it in the beginning. Mm-hmm. So those are the two things
What about authenticity? How important is that? I know some influencers, you see these guys driving Ferraris and they've got like all these materialistic things. It doesn't seem real. How important do you think authenticity is in what you do?
Well, authenticity is like the only thing, right? In life, and not just on social, but in life, like you need to have this. You can't be fake. People will sniff that out, and they won't. The moment you start to do that, or the moment that happens and your followers know that you're basically full of crap, for lack of a better word, they don't trust you. Mm-hmm. And then that's really difficult to build that trust up again. So,
yeah.
And that goes with any relationship too, right?
So I have a quick question since it's authenticity. What if you go to a place or you do get takeout and the food is mediocre? Maybe it's not great, but it's all right. You still did a beautiful video. Will you still upload the content and, will you say it's great or not say anything? How would you measure the authenticity?
That's a really great question. So it depends. If the food's awful, I'm not posting it. I won't be.
It's average. It's average. I didn't say awful. I said it's average.
You're right. You did say that. It's average food. And, you could basically just say that. If it's not like, you find things to talk about, you find the positivity in other things, at least for me. So maybe the price is right for the average food. I'd say this is a budget type of place, and you get what you pay for. The food's good. It's not amazing. You have to roll with it. I don't want to send people to a restaurant that that I rave about on my video that's not that good. They're going to know, right? And then another thing is too, I go to a restaurant sometimes and they'll send out things that maybe aren't on the menu, or things that look different than that they would serve to everyone else. And that's a big no-no for me and the restaurant, because it makes me look like, I don't know what I'm talking about. And it makes the restaurant look really bad too, because people go in for that dish and they don't have it. And so it doesn't do anybody any good. It's kind of goes with authenticity there too.
Yeah. I think the biggest question that I have is how do you make money at this? How do you monetize the following? How do you make this a business? Is this your only business? I mean, do you have like a day job or how does that work?
No, this is actually my full-time job. So I quit my cocktail job here. It'll be 5 years on October 30th. I've been
Wow.
doing this full time. Yeah, it's been fun. A couple ways. Recently, Instagram just came out with the Instagram Reels bonus, and that's really what got me going to posting those 5 to 10 second videos, because it was quick content. And so they started posting these bonuses. It's not a lot of money, but it can be a lot of money. And ads, so running ads with maybe big corporations like Wendy's or, McDonald's, Chili's, Applebee's, station casinos here in Vegas. There's just been some nice ads, and you can make it like those paid ads like that. That's the bulk of the money.
So are you saying that like station casinos or Applebee's will approach you and say, hey, we would love, Lindsay, for you to do, a spot about us? Is that kind of how it works? And you negotiate kind of a rate with them, or?
Yes. And so then we come up with that rate, and then we make a very, a distinct ad that's very visible that it's an ad, on there, do whatever it is, either it's hashtag ad or hashtag sponsored, so that the viewer knows that this is a paid promotion. That's also very important. Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. My children watch Mr. Beast, right? My 10-year-old is in love with this guy. And one of the things I noticed in his videos is that he'll like go into his whole thing, and then he'll pitch a product while he's in the middle of the video. Is that something that you would typically do, or is it usually like, hey, there's a clear line of delineation between this is an ad and I'm getting paid for it, and versus like trying to build it into the content?
Great question. Actually, I feel like that's done more so on YouTube than Instagram. There's not really as much time with Instagram because, the videos are a minute long. They don't really go longer than that. But on YouTube, because it's the longer format, they can easly implement it.
Yeah. No, it was really interesting. I'm like sitting there watching, really into it, and I'm like, oh wait, I'm getting pitched something.
He should. I think he discloses that there's a paid partnership. Usually they do a good job of that, but you don't know which one is the paid off. He's huge. Mr. Beast is the biggest there ever was.
Crazy. I think I read an article last week that said that he's going to be the first $1 billion influencer. I was like, come on, it's insanity.
Yeah, it happens. The revenue is insane on YouTube. Yes.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing is that one can make a living out of this.
Absolutely. And not for everybody, it doesn't happen overnight. Most people, it's not going to happen overnight, but there are a few people where they become these overnight celebrities, so to speak. So,
yeah.
And there seems to be, it's your full-time gig. You're doing this full-time. So do you have to take, get a delivered food, and you have to eat out every day? Is that how it works?
No, I don't eat it out. I don't eat out every day. I know it looks like I do, but I don't. I definitely have content. I sort of batch my content. So maybe I go to a couple places during the week, and maybe one at night or something. But lately, like I said, I've been slowing down since I have my family, that it's been more difficult for me to leave and kind of, get out and do all that. But yeah, usually people will go to a couple places a day and kind of batch it that way. Also, another way to make revenue, which I didn't mention, is UGC content, which is user generated content. So let's say a company sells me their ice, or wants me to promote their ice molds, or not even me promote it, wants me to make videos for them. They send me ice molds, and I'll make 5 or 6 videos for them to use, and they'll buy the videos that way. That's another way. So you're not necessarily in front of the camera or posting it on your page, but maybe you're making content for a company.
Oh, that's interesting. So you don't even post it because you already have like 600,000 and, almost 400,000 followers. It's like, so you don't post the content, but you're actually a content creator for them, but not for your distribution channel.
Correct. I mean, usually there's an option. I could post it, but a lot of times it's just for them.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Any other tips and tricks? Do you swap content with other like influencers? Like, are there any kind of like other kind of inside, tips that you might be able to give us?
I mean, I think I don't typically share content with anybody unless they're buying it, unless it's a friend, I guess. But I would have somebody find friends that are in the same industry, make friends with people, talk to people that you're interested in, maybe ask for advice. Find somebody that you admire, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, or whatever, and try to reach out. And you can even, take things that you like about people and implement it into your own videos. I think that's great too. And that's how ideas, kind of snowball. So
interesting. Would you ever consider taking somebody else's content to post it to help them build their page for a fee? Or is that not something that most people wouldn't consider in the space?
Yeah, that I think a long time ago that's considered a repost. And I had done that a couple times where I would repost someone else's photo, but it doesn't do you any good really anymore. So it can get kind of confusing for your audience also.
Yeah.
What about collaborating with other influencers and to get more better views? Like if you put it together, you guys, do a food blog, a review, and then put it all in your pages. They have their own fan followers, you have their own, and then you kind of switch or get more, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I definitely recommend that. Collaborating with other people, even collaborating with somebody who might be not in your space. Like maybe I'm a foodie and there could be, somebody that does fitness, right? And those sort of go hand in hand, food and fitness. So collaborating with somebody who might be outside of your space. And that could be a great way for you to have followers to kind of interchange that way. Yeah, great idea.
Have you done those? Have you done much collaboration?
I haven't done one yet.
Okay.
With a food fitness, I haven't done that, but that has definitely been on my mind. But yeah, I do collaborate, with Paul, and I have my other friend, Paul is Ryu Sauce, and my other friends, Social Sammy. We collaborate all the time. They're kind of my group. So we're always out together. If you follow on Instagram, you'll always see them on my stories, and I'm usually on theirs too. So
there's like a good crew going out, and you must get invited to a lot of openings, I'm certain, right? I mean, a lot of freebies.
A lot of freebies, yes. It is definitely a nice perk to have that. I mean, free food is great.
Another very important question, since you're a woman, you're a mother, and it's very important to have this balance. And since it's your full-time, job, how do you think you've been able to manage now that you don't have, you're creating content together, you're editing it at home and your own leisure, you're posting maybe once a day, whatever it is. So how important do you think the balance has been for you now that you are a social media influencer, being a mother, being, managing your household as well as doing this job?
I think the balance has been more important now than ever before, because you really need to make sure you're focusing on the right things, so it's kind of like wasting time, so to speak, is not something I can actually afford when I need to prioritize my kids and sleep right now. So yeah, the balance is real. It's very important to figure that out. And if you can set up boundaries and things beforehand, and kind of live your life that way, I think that's very, very important. As you both know, a full-time, when you work for yourself, it's more than just 40 hours a week. It's 24/7.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you really need to be able to manage that schedule.
Great. So I think we're almost out of time, Sam. I mean,
yeah, no, Lindsay, this has been fantastic. Appreciate all the insight. I'm sure the audience will as well. There's a lot of great nuggets of information and knowledge that you've shared with us today. Very, very grateful to you to spend the time with us. I know you got a lot going on, so thank you very much for being here.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for having me. This was so fun. Please, anybody who wants to send me a DM on Instagram, it's at the Las Vegas Foodie. That's Instagram and TikTok. But it's better to message me through Instagram. I will more likely see it there instead of anywhere else. So
yeah, the Las Vegas Foodie. Love it.
Yeah, absolutely. So just, I think this is nothing. I mean, running a food blog or working as a food writer is not a new thing. It's an industry that's been around for ages and evolved with the growth of social media platforms and the internet. And I think it's going to keep growing and evolving, and new trends will come. We've talked about a lot of tips and tools about collaborating, about, running ads, working with different brands and clients. Lindsay, you've given us some really good tips, especially for those who want to start or already started their own influencing in different platforms, whatever the platform may be. I think those has been great tools and tips that you've given us. And, food is a majorly popular niche on social media, and influencers is the tool you can use to leverage its popularity, and it's not going to go anywhere. And anywhere in the world, people will use this. And, and I think it's here just to keep growing. And thank you so much for being part of today's webinar. We thank you. And I just hope your channel grows in different platforms and you keep evolving and keep the balance. And thank you for everything. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was so nice talking to both of you.
Take care,
Yeah.
Lindsay.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.